Delta View Jetsprint track, Wanganui. The stage for round one of the Jet Pro New Zealand Jetsprint Championships for 2010. And the amazing Suzuki Superboats were back. This is what the crowd had come to see. Unlimited horsepower, plenty of action, and the defending champion, Richard Byrd, ready to go again. Because it's so tight in all the classes now, you really can't afford to have a bad round, can you?
No, you can't. You've got to be sort of leading the way from what I can gather the first round. If you're not on the top three, well, you're not going to pick up the rest of the season.
What do you think, in a nutshell, it's going to take for you to hold on to that number one plate?
Luck. They've got a lot more power than us, so yeah, I just got to keep it smooth, keep it in the track, and hopefully finish number one.
Pat Dillon had had a tortuous first season, but he was back with his supercharged Ford to excite the fans at Wanganui.
By the end of the season, I definitely want to be in that top three of the New Zealand champs. I'm going to hope higher than that, but there's some serious competition. When we built the boat, we didn't think supercharged could catch the top. I've changed my mind after seeing them in Australia. Just a matter of getting this unit. When we're hooking up, she's going, and if it does that, I've got no problem with the boat. It's just me.
But it was just Pat. On his hometown track, he couldn't get it quite right. Clipping the side of the island and taking a wild ride. Have a look at it on slow motion. You see it just clips the apex of the island and then it is gone. That's the reverse angle shot. Rip the rear spoiler off the boat.
We've been pushing it hard, you know, and a lot of that run was bloody good. There's no room for error in those last two turns, and it took us, you know. I've always known that's a bad corner, and it got me, so it's how it goes. But I tell you what, it's the softest roll I've ever had. It was just, we're waiting for the water to come in, and it didn't. It was brilliant.
Born and bred in Wanganui, which is fast becoming the hub of jet sprinting in New Zealand, is Suzuki Superboat first-timer Jamie Cooper. Jamie, an engineer by trade, took the advice of fellow Suzuki Superboater and business neighbour Pat Dillon, bought a hull and slapped in a 410 sprint car engine. Wanganui will be his first and navigator Braden Tate's debut in this exciting class. Well, we will watch with interest here. This is Jamie Cooper, first time in a Suzuki Superboat.
I'm probably very lucky that Pat Dillon sort of has got a business right next to me at work, and we've been spending a fair bit of time together lately, so it's sort of, yeah, and Paddy's done an awesome job with this boat and assisting to get it on the water.
This is obviously your first competitive meeting, but have you run it before?
No.
This is the first time?
Well, I did run it a couple of weeks ago and we actually had quite a bad accident on the side of it there. We had an island and wrote the side of the boat off, so we've only just got it back together actually, so yeah, this is second drive, but the first drive wasn't very successful.
So Jamie Cooper, all the preparation, all the anxiety, the long nights come to this, his first race here at round one of 6, the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. This is Suzuki Superboat and this is the boy on debut. Well, I'm joined in commentary by Jamie McCarthy once again, and man, what is going through this guy's head, Jamie?
Well, can he break the minute marks? Probably first and foremost, but you know, you put close to 800 horsepower, 410 cubic inch injected Chevy in the back of a boat. I think survival probably comes to mind.
Exactly right, and this track can bite you. We saw that with Pat Dillon. You've got to get the apexes on the corners absolutely perfect, or you are in trouble.
Well, his fastest run from qualifying was a 61.969, and when you compare that to the likes of Richard Byrd that's been down in the 47s, he does have to find some time, but, well, what a class to get into for the first time.
Exactly right. Another one of these guys has been attracted to the sport, not only through the encouragement of Pat Dillon, but through the coverage on television.
Now, Phil, I think he's made a navigational error because his split's out to 51.20, so somewhere through the centre of the course, I think he's had to make rather a large correction, so this time is certainly not going to be under the minute.
Well, they say it's all about sitting in the seat, isn't it, and spending time on the water, but that's not the way that Jamie Cooper and Braden Tate wanted this to go. It's going to be well over the minute 10, so they've blown out considerably.
Well, I've been in one of those little 1600cc Nissan boats, and I don't know how these guys do it in Superboat. 1:17.23. Jamie Cooper's got some work to do in the next round.
Well, he's lucky because of the numbers here in round number 1. He will make it through. This is Darryl Hutton. Now, Darryl Hutton's been having a lot of success in Australia in an Australian boat, but he's got Big Chief back on the water here in New Zealand, and it's just gone wrong for him all day. They've had navigational issues, they've had mechanical issues. He's been as frustrated as I've ever seen him.
Well, he came off finishing second in the Australian Championship by just 1 single point. It's good to see Darryl Hutton back in New Zealand in Superboat competition.
Well, he's been under the minute. He did that in the qualifying, and he did a 55.110 in the top 16. This is the top 8, and already, Jamie, he's had a bit of a problem. Just kissed the side of the island there. That's going to cost him.
Yeah, just unsettled the boat a little bit. And this is a boat they debuted a couple of seasons ago. Didn't race in New Zealand last season. 670 cubic inches. It's a monster.
It's a monster, but that's sometimes the problem. There's always that argument whether you go with a small block or a big block. The big block proponents say that's the way to go. The small blockers say, oh, and another mistake there from Hutton. The small blockers say that it's like a pendulum in the back of the boat. It makes it spin round, and maybe that's what's troubling this man at the moment, because he is off song. He's not hitting his lines quite right. This is a struggle for Darryl Hutton and Johnny Sheck.
Well, they're certainly having to work hard, and yeah, the small blocks have the advantage on the tighter tracks with the slower corners. And the bigger boats have the horsepower advantage. 55.14 for Darryl Hutton, a troubled run.
Well, it's all about developing this hull of Hawkins Marine, you know, and that's what we're here to do. We're actually, we sucked up someone's skeg out of the water and wrecked our jet unit. So half the reason we can't get around the corners at the moment is we've got actually no drive. We're running a smaller blade than our own in there, just a borrowed blade. So we're out there having fun. We're still, like I say, it's development. It's on the trailer, it's straight, that's a good bonus. We'll take that, mate.
We're into the top 8 here at Suzuki Superboat Wanganui, round number 1, and here is one of Wanganui's favourite sons. This is Leighton and Kelly Manel in Hummer Time. Second season in the big Suzuki Superboats for Leighton, and he's certainly not scared of it. We saw that last year.
Well, he was certainly one of the stars last year. Finished second in the World Championships. Had a very strong run. And apart from some minor motor issues, could have just pressed Richard Byrd a little bit harder towards the end of the championship. But at the end of the championship, it was actually Duncan Wilson that applied the pressure to the Suzuki Superboat champ.
We'll have a look for the split. 28-27 for Leighton and Kelly Manel.
We'll see how that transpires with Duncan Wilson and Richard Byrd to come. Leighton and Kelly have been solidly in the 49s. They've had 4 consecutive runs in the 49s. Sprint Tech hull.
Well, it's going to be another 49, Jamie. 49-47 for Leighton Manel, so it puts them there or thereabouts. Took another 3/10 off your last run, so that one looked good as well.
Yeah, we're getting here, mate. I just, if you can see behind me, I've got to pack up my neck with a towel. The G-forces are getting pretty hard out there, and I'm struggling with my neck. It's blowing me back in the seat, so I can't see some of those islands. So, yeah, we're still a bit untidy in a couple, but main thing is to get into that top 4 and then we'll ease it in there. But no, I think we'll be there at the end of the day.
The times show that you're catching birdie.
The power's there. I'm actually pulling out of a bit of it at the moment, so I've just got to get comfortable in the seat again, and then I can hold it down the whole time. But at the moment, I'm coming off the throttle a bit, so the boat feels really good. So looking forward to the finals.
Well, this is a man that a lot of people on the banks here at Wanganui are looking forward to as well. This is Richard Byrd and Roger Maunder. They're the defending champions. The boat is in your face. They've got a new sponsor this year in Vitra Glaze, but it's still Garlington Homes on the side of it as well. You've got the best seat in the house as you ride with the fastest in Suzuki Superboat. Listen to that small block scream as they work their way around this tight, twisty track at Wanganui. There's a hairpin turn. They've got to get that exactly dead right, but they've been doing it all day, Jamie.
Yeah, one of the smaller combinations at just 500 cubic inches, but we see how well this boat handles the White Pointer Stinger hull.
Dropped to 47.337 in qualifying round number 4, so we know the potential of the boat. A little bit slower in the top 16, but they didn't have to show all the cards. What are they going to do this time round? They go past the big screen. They head down towards the finish line now. It's going to be another 47. It is 47.22.
That was very, very quick for Richard Byrd.
Yet another Wanganui native. This is Duncan Wilson and Jamie Lee Lupton. Once again, you ride with them here as they inch their way slowly to the start line here in Suzuki Superboat. Number 2 in the Suzuki Superboats in New Zealand.
Their fastest run going into the 8 was a 48.9 in the top 16 run off the back of qualifying. Had a troubled season last year with all sorts of mechanical gremlins.
Oh, they just let it drift a little bit wide there. I don't know if that was planned or not.
So this is the classic small block, big block battle. This is the big 640.
Lethal Injection is the boat. 1,100 horsepower.
The ever spectacular Duncan Wilson. He leaves it all on the track, doesn't he?
Well, there must be something in the water at Wanganui because they develop fast drivers and navigators. Both these two locals.
48.69 qualifies second behind Byrd.
So Richard Byrd leading the charge here in Suzuki Superboat. That 47.22 looks a long way off the Duncan Wilson time, and Leighton Manel snipping at Duncan Wilson's heels as well. Jamie Cooper will go through because of the lack of numbers. We'll see him in the 4. And this is Jamie Cooper. And the reason you didn't see Darryl Hutton's name in the results is because he is not contesting the championship. He's just on a one-off drive here. But this guy, well, he is contesting the championship, his first full season. And he's going to do his fastest lap, 59.540. Jamie, you've got to be pretty happy with that on debut. You know, kept it clean the whole day and ran some really respectable times.
Yeah, absolutely awesome, eh? You know, as you say, you know, Pat and that, you know, this thing's just awesome. So yeah, no, it's had a hell of a ball today, and yeah, look forward to the next meeting.
Well, we mentioned it before, Darryl Hutton not running in the New Zealand Championship this season. Didn't run last year, spent most of the time in Australia. Second in the Worlds in Australia, in an Australian boat, but this is his own boat. He's back with his regular navigator, that is Johnny Schick. You're on board here in Big Chief.
And there are a couple of boats missing from the opening round of the championship. Chris Munro looking to contest from the second round, and unfortunately no Graham Mincham. Had a huge pre-season crash that ended his season before it even got started. So this is Darryl Hutton looking to improve on a 55.110 was his fastest lap of the day. Not running for points.
Once again, this one looked a little bit troubled, Jamie.
Split was 31.56. We've seen the quicker boys down in that high 27-second range. Certainly the boat doesn't look as clean and tidy as the likes of Leighton Manel, Duncan Wilson and Richard Byrd. But as Darryl alluded to, they are developing this boat.
Well, it's going to be faster than his earlier runs, I think, but it's still not going to be enough to satisfy the very competitive Darryl Hutton. It is a 54.101. He had problems in the spin-out pool as well. When it goes wrong in spades, and that's certainly the case for Nuts Hutton. Not the case for this combination, though. They've been going pretty right all the way. This is Kelly and Leighton Manel. Hummer Time is the boat, and it hums.
It certainly does. 49.1's been their fastest time so far for the first round here at Wanganui. So he's going to have to find some time and get into that low to mid 47-second range to be competitive with Richard Byrd.
I tell you what, Jamie, I think he'll find the time. This looks very fast to me.
Boat looks a little bit more settled than it did in the previous run. Here's the split, 27.85. So he's down there in that 27-second bracket.
That's where he needs to be. He's got to bring it home quickly now. Well, the thing about Leighton Manel is he gets faster as the day goes on.
And it's been a busy weekend too for him, Phil. He's been in behind the organisation of the Boxing Day motorcycle meeting at Wanganui, and a big week here in Wanganui. And down to the line for Hummer Time.
Big time, 48.38.
I was hoping to try and break the 48, to be honest, but it's going to be touch and go. I don't know what's going on behind me, but let's hope I can hang in. I'd love to get in that final. I reckon we can get there.
Well, Leighton Manel has laid down the gauntlet with that 48.3. What can Duncan Wilson do in response? Here he is in Lethal Injection. Another big block combination here. Sprint Tech hull. Time to beat. Should do it, the 54 of Darryl Hutton.
Listen to it wind up. There was just a little bit of a crackle there. I don't know that the engine actually sounded completely on song, or maybe it was on the rev limiter. I'm not too sure.
Well, you can guarantee this run will be on the limit for Duncan and Jamie Lee. Jamie Lee Lupton, of course, the daughter of Warwick Lupton, Grand Prix hydroplane pilot.
Well, he's down.
He's down. He's down appreciably. There's a problem, Jamie. You spotted it absolutely dead right.
He's certainly down on Leighton Manel.
Oh, there's more of a problem now. Oh, look at this.
The boat leap up out of the water. He half spun it. He did well to continue on, but that's cost him a whole heap of time. Needs to beat Darryl Hutton's 54 to get through.
Well, he does that, but that 53.45, that's probably put an end to his eliminations here in Suzuki Superboat. Have a look at this. Well, they got motorcycles tomorrow night at Cook's Gardens in Wanganui. You see a bit of motocross here from Duncan Wilson.
Watch the boat take up out of the water. He actually came off the bank when he got it back on the throttle.
Yeah, I don't really know what I did. It went a bit wide and clipped and stood back into it. We had a lot of water on board. The motor was surging quite a bit and went off song pretty bad, so just brought it home safely to get it home to try and post the time. But yeah, we came around the last bit at only 3/4 throttle, was coughing and sputting. There's a fair bit of water went over the engine, so just had to play it safe and get it home in one piece really. At least we're home in one piece, so she's all good.
Well, at the moment, Duncan Wilson's still alive because he was quicker than Darryl Hutton, so he's one of the 2 quickest boats at the moment. But look who's coming, Richard Byrd in Vitroglaze, Garlington Homes.
Well, these guys have sent the benchmark, haven't they? They're the only boat in the 47s. Can they do it again? It's a strange situation here because everyone will be concentrating on this guy. He's the man that they got to beat, and that's probably going to work in the favour of Byrd and navigator Roger Maunder.
He is so smooth. I suppose he has to be to keep the momentum up with this smaller engine combination up against the big blocks. 26.89, best split.
By a long chalk, Jamie, and he's always a fiddler. He's a funeral director from Palmerston North by day, but he's in the shed every night working on the hull, tinkering away with the engine. He says he'd love to twin turbo the engine on this boat, but his wife won't give him the money.
God forbid. 47.31.
So the 47.30 run of Richard Byrd keeps him at the top of Suzuki Superboat. As we head into the final, it'll be Palmerston North versus Wanganui because Leighton Manel has got a chance of glory. Rich, I know you've been chasing a couple of gremlins in there, but still 1.5 seconds faster than anyone else. 47.30, that last one looked as smooth as glass.
Yeah, the boat's actually feeling really good. We are down on the RPM quite a bit from where we normally run it. One of the runs there we pumped a bit of oil out, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to lean on the engine too hard, but we're still just running it in.
You'll face Leighton. You've probably got experience over Leighton, but he's been getting faster, but he's still a long way off your pace.
He beat us at Worlds too, so anything could happen. So.
Well, Richard Byrd said a mouthful there. Anything can happen. You've got to complete the run. You've got to post the time. That'll be in the back of the mind, I would think, of Leighton and Kelly Manel. Leighton will be thinking, hey, I want a 47. I think I've got the boat to do it.
Well, you've got to be afraid when Richard Byrd says he can afford to be conservative. And just on their onboard run from that last run, it didn't sound like the boat was running that crisply.
No, I think they've got some issues. Talking to their engineer, maybe some head gasket issues, but we'll see.
Well, we're watching Leighton and Kelly Manel at the moment in Hummersheim, the number 66 Sprintec.
28.40, they're a little bit down at the split as compared to that 26.89 that we just saw Roger and Richard post.
Yeah, well, Leighton's last run, they did a 27.82 to the split, so they've lost some time in the first half of the lap. Let's see how it equates to the end. It's a nice run to the finish.
49.76, and well, you got to think that's not going to be enough, even if these guys are down a little bit. They've been firmly in the 47s, and I think maybe a little mechanical issue for Leighton Manel there as well. The boat just seemed to go off song about 3/4 of the way through that run.
Well, it lost 1.4 seconds from his previous best when they dropped into the 48.3s in the top 4 runs. So Richard Byrd, this is the last run of round 1 of the Suzuki Superboats from Wanganui.
And I guess Richard Byrd will be thinking he's got to preserve this engine. He wants to do the 6 rounds. You can't win the championship in the first round, but you can very easily lose it. The points are so close in Suzuki Superboat.
Certainly an old adage in motorsport. Let's look at the split. It looks pretty clean, 27.08. So he's just backed up a touch from his 26 split in the top 4 run.
But more importantly, he's in front of Leighton and Kelly Manel, so he's looking pretty good here.
He's up by more than a second. Time to beat 49.76 for Richard Byrd. And Roger Maunder, I think he's going to do this pretty comfortably, Phil.
Oh, I think he is too. 47.23. Well, if the engine's hurt and he can do a 47.23 at Wanganui, the competition should be worried. So Richard Byrd draws first blood in Suzuki Superboats. He wins from Leighton Manel here at Wanganui. I know you're a little bit worried in the pits before about maybe changing blades and maybe doing this and maybe doing that, and the crew said to you that last run was super smooth, just drive it. You drove it. That's the second fastest time of the day, only beaten by yourself in the top 8.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, like I said, we're chasing a bit of an issue there. We had got the boat on the pond yesterday, so we've got a few little things to fix, but we've got a couple of weeks to start to get a few of the faults ironed out and see if we can get the engine and make some power.
Great way to start the championship.
Oh, fantastic start. Like we spoke this morning, got to be on that podium to have a chance of getting another championship. So here we are on the podium again.
I think you had Richard a bit worried then because he reminded me that you beat him in Australia.
Yeah. We were. I was going to give that a good toggle. I really thought we'd get to 47, but hey, at the end of the day, credibility. He's won. He's kept his motor going. And at the end of the day, as we're still running, we got home. A little bit of a small fire as we pulled in there, but never mind.
5 more rounds to go, mate. Anything can happen.
Dead right. Hey, great way to start for us. At the end of the day, it's just as good a start from last year. So we'll carry on.
How close was it in the final? You can tell for yourself. Split screen. Leighton Manel on the left, Richard Byrd on the right.
Look how much time Richard Byrd made up through that first sequence of corners. And it just continues to translate as they go through the run, as he gains time. A better handling boat, you've got to say, at that point of the course.
Yeah, absolutely. And those tenths of a second added up. And that's why Richard Byrd and Roger Maunder are leading the Suzuki Superboats after round 1 of 6 here at the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships.
Just watching this side-by-side run, it looks like Byrd's boat's getting off the corners a lot better than Kelly and Leighton Manel's hammer time. And that was the difference at the end. And at the end, it was, the better part of over 2 seconds.
Both boats with mechanical issues. So have a look at the points. We said it'd be tight at the top, and it is. Richard Byrd on top on 30, Leighton Manel on 29, and Duncan Wilson on 27. The usual suspects coming through. But what about the debut from Jamie Cooper? He's in 4th place as we go to round 2.